Hello everyone, and welcome to Eric's Life, where every day is a new chapter. And every year is a new chapter as well, as this is where we live now. The Lakes of Valparaiso. New apartment complex as of August 1st, 2020. Sabotaging my audio. I see how it goes. And without further ado, let's show you the new home itself, because Colton and I are really proud of it. Let's go inside. Hello and welcome to the official apartment tour. I am voiceover Eric, and I figured I'd be doing this in post-production just so that I could talk in a little bit more detail while I could focus filming the apartment itself. So Colton's there, he's drawing, and he's going to be our model for some of the amenities for our apartment. But this is a panning shot of the whole thing, the living room and the kitchen, but we're going to go into a lot more detail here. There's our calendar. We custom made that through the Walmart photography services, and we have a new picture of us or our friends and family each month from one of the months of the previous year. We got our key dish and our keychain holder, and oh, you can see me in the Kiki's delivery service mirror there. Really like our bunny clock. A lot of that stuff is turned over from the past apartments, including where Colton used to live before we lived together. So we put our three-piece fall canvas above the TV this time. We thought that worked quite well, especially considering what's on the opposite wall, which you're going to be seeing very shortly. Obviously, we have our TV in the living room here. We have our key dish. That's where we put our engagement rings. I usually don't take mine off because I like it snug. And we got some knickknacks lining the left side of our TV stand, which, by the way, is a completely new amenity as well. We're currently watching Community and Animaniacs, but we get sidetracked by a lot of movies, so that's been a long time coming for those. But we keep our Nintendo Switch firmly docked in the center of our entertainment display because, let's be honest, that's what we're using most of the time, and we've been playing Super Mario 3D All-Stars recently. So we definitely have continued with the owl motif, keeping those on the TV stand. And we still have our PS4, which is probably our secondary console that we play most often, our Nathan Drake PS4. It comes from Colton's side of the gaming nerddom. And then we actually have drawers in our TV stand now. So for all of the Wii U, Wii, GameCube, and N64 games, we're able to keep them all in one drawer, along with some batteries and charging cables. So it's really nice to keep that clutter out of the way, and all of the video games are very accessible in that one drawer. We have our Nintendo Switch and 3DS cases on top of the TV stand, and then on the second drawer, that's where we keep all of our extra controllers, GameCube, N64, Super Nintendo, NES, the NES and SNES Classic controllers, extra Wii remotes, what have you. We got a lot of gaming peripherals, and that's not even all of them. We have our Nintendo Switch travel case, the PlayStation 3, the SNES Mini, and we actually have Dish in this new apartment, and we keep our NES and SNES games in that shoebox still. It's decorated with Undertale stickers as it belongs. Our Retro Duo plays original NES and SNES cartridges. We have our N64 set up, still the same one I've had since childhood. Our Wii U is still hooked up, so we're probably one of the few households in the nation that can say that. Our NES Classic, and we have the GameCube just for show because we actually play our GameCube discs and, of course, our Wii discs on the Wii itself, which means we have two sensor bars still. Where's one of our two movie towers? We have more movies than two towers can take, but we just keep some of our favorite ones on the towers itself. Pretty much almost all of these movies on this tower, Colton and I have watched together, even if we had watched them before. And that's right next to our front door. And then over here in the corner, next to the TV stand, we kind of have our shrine, our bookshelf, and a lot of our personal knickknacks and photos from the years that we've spent together already. Hopefully it's a wall that we continue to add to and get some wedding photos up there. So that's my plaque from graduating from Clarion University. It's a nice plaque, and I haven't gotten a lot of use out of it, so I still hang it up. And then we have pictures of Colton and I. So that's from our 2018 vacation at the Pittsburgh Zoo. And then that is a photo from our second vacation together when we went to Wichita Mountains Wildlife Preserve, and adventure awaits. And then that picture is from this year. We did do a short vlog of the Shed Aquarium in Chicago, and so we got pictures from 2017 through 2020 up on the wall above our knickknacks shelf. We got a bunch of stuff on this shelf. National Comedy Center wristband, a wooden flower for my Youth Connection performances back in the day. We have some of our E3 2019 knickknacks, including the exclusive Finn minifigure and the Link's Awakening Link keychain. And then what's really cool is our friend Gabe in California, Alabaster, he made these minis of Dungeons & Dragons AU versions of both Sirius and Lee, our personas. We think those are super cool, and now we have a place to display them as well. We got tons of knickknacks there. Musical note from Sydney from the All County Musical, the tango ring, my class ring, a knife from 2010 Jamboree, I believe. That's my Eagle Scout medal. We got the pocket watch from 2013 Jamboree, a Philmont belt buckle, a Florida Sea-based belt buckle. Those are our promise rings. We don't wear those anymore since we have engagement rings. Some knickknacks from our vacations in the past, including the Potawatomi Zoo, which was just recently on the vlog in July. We got some scouting golf balls. I Love You penny press from our 2019 vacation together. And I also have an old, one of those painted eggs from one of my old art teachers, Mrs. Hendricks in high school. So I still have that. Got another press penny there from our NOAC 2015 side trip to the Henry Ford Museum. Our square knot for Dan Wobolt, who passed away in 2013. My Founders Award ribbon and a vigil pin, and rocks from Mount Baldy and the Tooth of Time from Philmont. That was from our 2014 trek. Then I also put up my bookmark from someone who is a huge fan of mine and was following my channels and my writing back when I was making vlogs all the time. And it just has a lot of sentimental value to me that, even though not a lot of people watch your stuff, somebody can still get something awesome out of it. And then we have our adventure book, which is a scrapbook of a lot of our conversations when we were long distance, our photo album of our 2018-2019 vacations. We have a lot of nerd books. We have the Avatar graphic novels, some Star Wars comic books, Sonic the Hedgehog, Twilight Princess manga. I've been reading the Saga series of graphic novels and comics. I'm on book 3 of that. And we just got a lot of other miscellaneous magazines on the second shelf. And then moving down, we have the Triforce of the Hyrule Historia, the Hyrule Encyclopedia, and the Art and Artifacts book, the Breath of the Wild art book, Creating a Champion. And then moving down, we have the collector's editions of various Zelda games and their guides, the Mario Odyssey art book from Dark Horse, and then lots of collector's edition Mario guides. And we got some Pokemon guides, Star Fox Zero, Smash Brothers, what have you. We collect players' guides, and there's a lot more where that came from. A lot of them are just sitting in a tote somewhere in our bedroom. And then we keep our PS3 games in a case now because there's too much clutter. So one thing that we did that was super important in this move was get rid of a lot of clutter. And not only did that help us move just 1 year after we had moved last year, but that also was a big mental objective to get rid of some of the stuff that we didn't need, including plastic boxes and lots of other miscellaneous things. Our other shelf over here that we've been using for our albums is also adorned with stickers. We have not much more space than the last apartment, but the space that we do have is more economical. It's more friendly for us. We have a lot more open space. We don't have our giant kitchen table and chairs anymore. We actually sold those to a family that needed it, and it was a good way to give us some extra space. But yeah, a lot of these stickers are actually kind of dark in the corner here, but nonetheless, it shows how dedicated we are that even the corners that you can't see, we will nerd it right up. But yeah, we had a lot of fun decorating this time. I feel like our interior decorating skills has improved overall. Our apartment is a little more minimalist now, even though there's still a lot of cool stuff. But that was kind of the goal. I think the last apartment really suited the cover every space of the walls in posters kind of motif, whereas this one's a little bit nicer. We're on the third floor. We have more wall space because of inclined ceilings. And we've actually been using some of our shelves very differently too. This was our amiibo shelf, if you remember, back in 2019. We've changed that around. We've also put a lot of our statues on top of the shelf here, the ones that are too big to fit on other shelves or in cubbies, and we've adorned it appropriately. We have the R-Wing from Star Fox, the Slave One, a Jolteon figure, which is kind of concerning because there's 8 more of those, because there's a whole line of the EV evolutions. We have the Kiki's Delivery Service cat, the Porg, our Toriel figure, and some of our bigger figures are adorning the back, including some of the Smash Brothers roster. But what Smash Brothers roster would be complete without Kylo Ren? Ben Solo in his last Jedi garb, of course. This was actually a Black Series figure that Ryan had gifted me because he just thought it was a shame that I didn't have any Black Series figures. Well, as of this year, that has been fixed. But yeah, we really like our statues here. This is one of those amiibo that is ridiculously huge for really no reason. So we do have Detective Pikachu, and this Mario is actually a Mario Odyssey McDonald's toy. So as far as McDonald's toys go, it's actually pretty good looking. Kind of surprised that a toy of such high quality can even come with a meal. And then we have our Link from Twilight Princess. This was a family gift to me, a few years ago. I can't even remember, maybe 3 years ago. But Link is looking pretty fine, but not as fine as Fox McCloud over there. Now, this was a statue I'd gotten 4 years ago. This was a commemorative limited edition anniversary statue, and it was released alongside Star Fox Zero. So, as the biggest Star Fox fan on the planet, of course I had to have that. And he sits there, keeping guard over everything. So we have a better desk now. We had a very small, kind of rickety desk before, so we bought a new one, we built it, and we actually have more space for all of our stuff. Both of our laptops are adorned with Malmec stickers. It's an artist that we really enjoy and follow. And Colton's laptop is here. It's adorned with a wolf and a lion. Bet you can't guess who is who. And we have some other spaces here. We keep his drawing tablet here. We keep our some other books. We got the Bradley Default series art books from Dark Horse. And we just actually have some space for things. We have a drawer that we can keep a lot of our miscellaneous things like the microphone, our checkbook, things like that. We still have our printer. God bless Ryan, because it's one of the only printers that I've ever had that actually seemingly works. And I very much appreciate that. Got that new lamp from a home store in Merrillville. So we've really just kind of made everything a little bit nicer and upgraded some of our furniture items. Speaking of furniture, we do have our second movie tower. I'm not sure if movie towers can be classified as furniture, but we'll just say that they are. So some of these movies we still have to watch together, so those are towards the top. And then, of course, we got to keep our Studio Ghibli series all together because that scratches my OCD itch, so why not? And then moving up to the back wall, we still have some of our framed artwork. So this is the original frame sketch of my characters from my second novel here. We got Brassic, Melly, Laura, and Brutus from left to right. And again, that's another alabaster art piece there, and we really appreciate that. That was a commission, and basically he does all the art for my books so far. And this is a piece that we had received from Midwest Fur Fest back in 2019, back when conventions happened. That's our new couch. The new couch was the biggest addition to our apartment, and we got that in mid-August, and it's been treating us very well. It's less large than the original. And then this canvas is also brand new. So the kind of the centerpieces of our living room are brand new, and I think they fit the space well. You can really get lost in that misty forest canvas with all the red and everything. I quite like it. And then we've some of the stuff that was hung up in our bedroom before, we've moved out into the living room, like that IFAS drawing of Arcanine, our Super Mario Galaxy puzzle, which I do not have the patience to do myself. My mom put that together years ago. And then from Philmont, my Seton Memorial Library Black Wolf of the Kurumpa painting as well. So we're kind of art fiends, and we're still letting that show. We just don't have as many loose posters. We really don't have any loose posters hanging up anymore. Everything is framed and matted in some cases, and we think that makes everything look a lot better. This is my laptop, completely adorned in grid formation, some of my favorite pieces from Malmix. I just love looking at my laptop. I got some excellent stickers lately, and they were a really good deal. They weren't very expensive. We got Journey, Smash Brothers, Mario Odyssey, Untitled Goose Game, and more. And then on the inside of my laptop, we have her Animal Crossing New Horizons painting. But yeah, so we both got new laptops this year, Lenovo laptops, and they were both upgrades from what we had been using previously. So we're pretty happy with that. Colton has some drawing statues here so he can practice anatomy. And you can't see it, but that thing poofs out water vapor to make things smell nice. And then we have our baby, Meta Knight. He basically keeps guard over the extra chair that we still have. We don't really sit in it often, but we really haven't had company over yet either. So I'm sure that will change in the future. And then Umbreon is looking sassy as always. And we still have our coffee table, crafted from Colton's grandfather himself. And we get a lot of use out of that. Absolutely so much. It's where we eat. It's where we live. We basically spend 90% of our time in the living room. Basically, we sleep in the bedroom. Even though we have a TV in there, we basically just spend all our time out here. And we both have our cubby holes for our journals or our art books or what we're reading at the current time. I typically like to keep the clutter off of the coffee table most often. Sometimes I have to yell at Colton to keep the clutter off the coffee table. He's laughing. He's laughing in the background. And we still have our coasters, the glow-in-the-dark ones with the Kanto starters, which is also quite cute. But now we're going to show off Colton's art book that he's been working in. Colton is getting better and better at his art. He's been practicing a lot of that lately. These are some of his other sketches that he basically just did. Some head anatomy furry practice, which is a lot of fun. I like seeing him draw. I like embarrassing him as well. Moving over to the kitchen, we have some snacks. Albanese is a candy company and factory here close to Valparaiso. They make better gummy bears than the Haribo ones, so shade fully thrown at that. But our kitchen is generally nicer. It's about the same level of counter space, but now we have dark wood cabinets, granite countertops. Whirlpool devices, including our stove, our dishwasher, and our fridge. So everything is just nicer, and it does its job better, and it actually works from now on, which is great. So in keeping with our kitchen Pokemon tradition, we've still hung up the Hoenn piece that we had framed and matted last year, and I really love that a lot, and that's Colton's favorite generation of Pokemon, so we have it represented here. Spread the love. Spread the love. That's a new butter dish. Isn't that exciting? That's the most important part of our apartment now. But over here, we have our fridge. It was a lot more cluttered before I filmed this, but we made it look nice. We have some of our Christmas cards. We have our recipe. Actually, Gabe taught us how to drink matcha tea and make that. That's going to be shown off in the next vlog. Here's our fridge when it's actually well stocked. That's not most of the time, trust me. But when we did have it well stocked with drinks and things, I was like, well, I better film it because it looks nice right now. So if you ever wanted to know what the inside of our fridge looks like, now you have that answer. But yeah, we've built up our magnet collection over time. And again, it's a nicer fridge, so we're not really like taping random things on our fridge anymore. We're keeping it nice and classy. This is one of my favorite things of recent memory. Colton actually drew this flower wheel, and he drew it as a coloring page, and anybody can download it and color it. And so I did, and that was a lot of fun. I haven't really colored anything seriously in like years and years. So that was a lot of fun for me. So it's basically a proud fridge accomplishment of both him and me. Mostly him, because coloring is easier, but it was still fun nonetheless. And lo and behold, look at that. We have a washer and dryer unit in our apartment now, so we don't have to go to the laundromat anymore. A year of that was definitely enough. So we've got that here. It's a lot more convenient for us. Still have our Galar region pennant hung up. And basically we got our trash can and our laundry in the hallway here. Very riveting, I know. And then over on the hallway wall, we have our SiriusLee Sun is Leaving artwork comic by Gato, one of our friends in Argentina. And it tells the story itself. It's very self-explanatory. We like it a lot. So that's one of the things that we have absolutely still needed to hang up on our walls. And then over next to it, we have another sunset piece, the Tooth of Time painting that I got from Philmont 6 years ago. So we thought those looked pretty well together, and voila, here we are. Really quickly, this is our bathroom, which, I usually don't show off the bathroom, but it's certainly a heck of a lot nicer than our old bathroom. There is not like decaying wall falling from the ceiling anymore, so that's a plus in my book. The shower is really pretty, and we've been getting good use out of that. And it's kind of like a textured shower bathtub bottom, so we don't even need a bath mat. It's a vast improvement. We got our kitty on top of our toilet, and overall, it's just a lot nicer to look at, a lot nicer to use than the last place, and we are excited about that. Over here, we're in the bedroom. The bedroom's where a lot of nerdy things come out, maybe even more so than the living room. So without further ado, let's dive right into that. We have a lot of our backpacks and our camera equipment over on the side there. And then on this lamp, it basically is a tower for display. So this is a stuffed animal that one of Colton's coworkers actually made for us. We think it is awesome, so we display that on the regular. Then we have our Rousey stuffed animal from Fangamer, and an official playful merch item, Lucky the Fox from New Super Lucky's Tale, which is a game I've really enjoyed last fall. And then we have a new poster. We have a Super Mario World poster. And we actually saw this at Disc Replay in Mishawaka, Indiana, right basically in the plaza next to where Colton used to work at his old Walmart. And it was actually the same place where a year ago we found this Sonic the Hedgehog poster as well. So we basically have a Disc Replay poster wall. These two posters we had really never seen before, but they represented their respective series really well. So we went ahead and we hung those up, got the frames, buy one, get one free essentially. So that was a good deal as well. Over here we have Colton's side of the bed. I love his owl lamps. Definitely inherited some awesome furniture from his side. All right, we have our bookshelf over here. We keep some of our anime, our TV series, some of the novels that we've read. I definitely need to read more, but alas, there's only so much time in the day. We have every 7 seasons of Avatar over here. Whew, we got so much stuff that I'm out of breath. And we got some more books and knickknacks and assorted things like that. The Edge of Extinction card decks from Camp Homestead and Allegheny National Forest. It's a card deck that I helped promote back in my college days. But the real feature of this bookshelf is, of course, our amiibo collection. And it's kind of frightening. I was actually able to fit every base roster member of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the top shelf. And the middle shelf has all of the alternate costume amiibo or the Echo Fighters and the Mii Fighters in the back, as you might be able to see. But yeah, so essentially, I was able to kind of recreate the key art for the Smash Bros. Ultimate game on this shelf. And when I realized that I was able to do that, I was very excited, as you can imagine. So we're just going to pan across all of our boys and girls here. Sonic, Charizard, the Pokemon trainer surrounded by his Pokemon. Some of my favorite ones I'm putting towards the front, but there's so many good ones. The amiibo quality has really risen the more they produce them. So, some of the newer ones, especially, like Lucas is a newer character because he was at his DLC in Smash 4. So he looks fantastic. King K. Rool, the level of detail on a character like that is immense. Young Link is new because he was an Ultimate Edition back from Melee. He looks great. Lucario, our furry boy. Pac-Man, Wolf, Mewtwo, Bowser Jr. I'm kind of an amiibo fiend. It's everybody has that thing that they collect, and for me, it's these guys, because some of you might remember all the way back in Super Smash Bros. Melee days, there was this mode where you could see all of the trophies that you would collect digitally in that game on like this kid's bedroom table, and it was like all spread out. And that's essentially kind of the idea. We recreated that on top of our bookshelf in our bedroom here. And I've also, with my OCD skills, have managed to not have any part of any of the figures, base included, touch any other figure. So they're all actually perfectly evenly spaced out. So if that tickles your fancy like it does me, well, here you are. This amiibo display is for you then. Some characters are going to have to get the shaft. They're going to have to get thrown in the back like Luigi. But let's be real. That's where Luigi would get thrown. So would Olimar, since he's like technically, canonically, like maybe an inch tall. And then we got our other Smash Brothers characters here, the Echo Fighters, and I might be adding the DLC characters to this cubby as they get released. Hero, Joker, Banjo-Kazooie, etc. And then over to the left, we have our Animal Crossing characters. We got our Owl Boy and Girl in the front and center. KK Slider kind of giving a performance here. And the Animal Crossing amiibo looks splendid. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't make any more when New Horizons came out. But alas, we have the Mario series amiibo here. Always like my reptilian boys up front. Bowser, Yoshi, Koopa Troopa. And then Booth kind of hiding back there along with the rest of the Overall and Princess cast. And yes, I do have Silver Mario and Gold Mario, I know. It's disgusting. And then we have some of our more special kind of, amiibo where in 2017 they did this a lot. They did it with Mario Odyssey, the Splatoon games, Breath of the Wild, where games got their own line of amiibo. So on this top shelf, we have all of that. We have the Breath of the Wild cast with Zelda, the 2 versions of Link, and the 4 champions, which are going to see some use in the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity game. So we might be taking these guys off the shelf at some point to actually use them in game. But 99% of their use, let's be honest, is all about display. And they are fantastic. So moving down from Breath of the Wild, we have our Squid sisters, Callie Marie and Pearl Marina surrounding the Mario Odyssey cast. And then on the bottom shelf, we have our Kirby characters, our Samus Returns amiibo, our Fire Emblem Echoes amiibo, Chibi Robo, and Hey Pikmin came with an amiibo, not packaged with, thankfully, because I wasn't interested in the game, but the Pikmin amiibo itself is probably one of the more exciting detailed amiibo out there. And so is Wolf, Link, and Midna. So a few of the miscellaneous ones we keep on top, along with Yarn, Yoshi, and Poochie. We have the Guardian with opposable limbs from Breath of the Wild, and then we have the Bokoblin amiibo as well. So that pretty much covers most of the amiibo in existence. We have some of the other ones on a couple other different shelves, but just looking at this display, that's already like 100 amiibo, and it's kind of scary. Up top, above our amiibo, we have the 8 patches that were made for the OA of the Wild Section Conclave that my brother has hosted, and that event lives on in video on this channel as well, so might as well go check that out. And then we have our absolutely safe for work body pillows. They're safe for work. It's just an ice skater boy and a bird boy, Rivali. They're very body confident, and so are we. And come on, everyone likes body pillows, so let's be real. Lugia is a recent plush that I've gotten because I love Lugia, and he stands guard over my Metroid Samus Returns new Nintendo 3DS. Over towards the right of our bedroom, we have the Surface World map from The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, the best video game ever made, don't at me. And then along with the 25th anniversary Legend of Zelda promotional art. And then we have a Malmix wall. We had a disc replay poster wall. Well, we have a Malmix poster wall as well. So this is the Hexaptic Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze painting. And she's done 6 paintings of Tropical Freeze, all the loading screens. And this is a version of that painting featuring the Donkey Kong characters traveling throughout the 6 worlds in that game. And it's one of my favorite games of all time. Very close to making Colton play it, but I've also made him play through the entire Donkey Kong Country series, to which he holds me to very great guilt and shame. And then we have our Lilat system painting for Star Fox 64, another one of my favorite games, and then a painting from Journey, which is honestly one of my favorite smaller games out there. I like playing that every couple years or so. And then we found a really awesome painting to kind of round out this wall, a Kid Icarus Uprising painting with Hades looming in the background, reaching into the foreground, while Pitt's drawing his arrow and the sacred treasures. Really awesome stuff. And then we've kind of surrounded that with these really cool kanji 8-bit or 16-bit sprite work of the Mario characters, which we actually got from Target. So Target's good for something, apparently. And that's what it's good for. It's good for just kind of this random nerd stuff that I guess only Target carries sometimes. We have our canvas with the green and pink leaves over the river above our bedroom TV. And then our bedroom TV stand is adorned with The Legend of Zelda amiibo, Link's Awakening, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, The Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword. So the green transitions into pink with the Octolings, Zelda being their obvious ruler, of course. It's Wind Waker Zelda, so Octolings, Great Sea, sure. And then that moves over into the more colorful cast of Inkling amiibo as well. So there's a lot of symmetry there, and of course, you know I love symmetry. And then a lot of our coins and other knickknacks, some of the Order of the Arrow statues. One of the knickknacks that was passed down from my grandfather, that little bird in the background. My statue of the Space Needle, just various other things. And BB-8, of course, our greatest pet. That's a picture of us from 2018 vacation when we were looking at the camera and couldn't see because the sun was bright. And we have a lot of our other Mario knickknacks on our lamp here, which is, of course, adorned with Cappy on top of the light. We've been doing that for a year and hasn't caught on fire yet. We have our 4 Shovel Knight series amiibo, a Nintendroid Majora's Mask Link, which was a gift from Colton back in the day, after our vacation in 2019. And we have the gold Shovel Knight and the gold Mega Man. So really, when it comes down to it, there aren't even that many amiibo that we don't have. There's a few game-specific ones, but honestly, we have most of the amiibo collection. Sirius and Lee are budsies. They keep watch over the rest of our stuffed animals, which, as you can see, is kind of a very extensive collection for 2 grown men. We do it with pride. We do it with a lot of pride, and we're going to display all of these wonderful, wonderful creatures. You can tell that maybe we like animals. Maybe we like fictional animals as well, because we got a lot of Pokemon here in the fray. Now, a lot of these were gifts to each other, though, back in the day, and now they're all coming together, and they'll never be separated again. And we got Darth Vader as Santa Claus. Darth Vader is Santa Claus. Not sure if you knew. And then moving onward here, we have our little water shrine, and we have a chest that keeps some of our other video game peripherals that we don't use as often. And now we're moving into the closet where we keep all the stuff that we don't really usually need, but it's here nonetheless. Of course, my scout uniform is the first thing you can grab off the closet, since I wear that every other day, if not every day. And then Eric, Will You Marry Me is what he painted when I was coming home from camp back in August, and he surprised me with an engagement back to me, a proposal back to me. So we've both proposed to each other. That's equal rights, man. That's how it's got to be done. But we keep a lot of our shoes actually on shelves instead of just kind of like thrown underneath the dresser like they used to be. So more things have their actual official place now. We have a lot of clothes. We have a lot of shirts. It is what it is. But we have enough space to keep everything in a somewhat orderly fashion, which is very good for me. And we usually keep our calendars and to-do lists on this little bulletin board. And that Pokio is a drawing of Colton's. That is an awesome one that I wanted framed, and we've done so. And all of these family photos and friends, we've kept them hung up. We're just in the closet now because we can check on our family in photo form before we get dressed and go to work. So a little bit of inspiration there. I thought it would be a shame to not hang them up again. And we have a couple of our other random furry art pieces back here in the closet, along with a keychain, actually, a keychain holder. So we got this just to show off all of our lanyards, all of our keychains, and just things that couldn't really be displayed without a hanger like this. So as we pan across those, we're nearing the end of the apartment tour. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. We're just proud of not only the memories that we've collected through the things that we have over the years, but how we've been able to display them this time, because I think it's an improvement. I think we've learned a thing or two about interior decorating on the way from living in an apartment last year in South Bend to now living here in Valparaiso. And we've got a lot of our amenities hung up for display just to prove that we graduated. You know, can't forget that. Fun fact, Colton's brother, and my brother are all going to school for business administration with a concentration in human resources. Literally did not even realize that until like this week. Very funny. A lot of my press passes are on here too, because why not? Sometimes I want to remember my glory days of being a journalist, because while I like to write, I also don't like making minimum wage, because I don't think we could live in this apartment if that was the case. But we can keep the memories here nonetheless. And looking at a screen like this is usually how we end our night, if we have the free time. Again, we're kind of Nintendo sheep, but there's worse things to be sheep for, right? And then, just as a bonus, I figured I would show my office cubicle. I probably sit here for maybe 2 minutes a week, honestly. It's not really a place where I spend my time, because usually during my job, I'm out in the field helping volunteers, fundraising, recruiting, what have you, helping to run events. So not a lot of work gets done at this desk, but it's still a place that I have, and it shows off a lot of my scouting awards from the past, including my Founders Award, my Eagle, my Vigil, all of that stuff. It doesn't really have room to be hung up in where we live, so I just kind of throw it in the office. My coworker Jeff keeps bugging me to hang all this stuff up, but again, I don't spend a lot of time here. The office is an hour away from where I live now, instead of 5 minutes away. So that's kind of a big change, but we've been adjusting to it and still been getting some awesome work done. But yeah, it's definitely the job and the career. It's all treated me well and Colton well in the Midwest, and it's been a busy time. It's been a couple months when we have finally been able to get this episode out to you, but we can now, and we're living in a really awesome home. And it's kind of our sanctuary, and we really are excited to come home to it every day and to be with each other, because that's what makes home home. And then, as a nice little added bonus, we are on the 3rd floor of our building, so we have a pretty nice view from our balcony. So we'll end on that note, and I'll see you in the next chapter.